gosh. Hey, you guys, how are you? Sorry, a couple of technical difficulties and some challenges with the ship at the moment. We were supposed to leaving port like 15 minutes ago, and I thought I would do the live sail away with you so you could see what was happening. And we're delayed because they're trying to get more stuff on board and just whatever they have to do, and that happens. So we won't be leaving for another hour or so. But I wanted to say hi, and I finally made it on board, and I appreciate you waiting. I'm so sorry I'm 15 minutes late. It was just one of those things, and I was going to show you the room. And I also set this up on my laptop, so it's not as easy to show around, but I will. And I'm going to see if anybody else joins us, and I really appreciate your patience so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm just glad to be on board because 7 months of house sitting in California was absolutely fabulous, and the hosts were wonderful, and the animals were wonderful, and spending time in California, I think it's always wonderful, especially when you don't have to live there full time at the cost of living that is very high there. But now I get to be 60 days, 2 months on this Sapphire Princess on my way to South America and let somebody else take care of the housekeeping and the food. And I have a gym and a pool and all sorts of stuff to just kind of rest and relax and discover South America. I've never been before. So it's going to be an epic journey, 60 days on board. And then I'm staying in South America, and I've added on the Galapagos and Machu Picchu and an expedition tour of the Galapagos of Antarctica. So I'm really excited about it. So I thought I would share it with you. I'd love to know if I went live every day. Is there a good time of day for you? Would you watch? How long would you watch? And I'm thinking that this might be what I'm going to do while I'm on board as opposed to weekly videos. I'll be honest with you, I'm new to YouTube. Since May, I am so grateful to have 690 subscribers in a very short period of time and thousands of hours of watching. And I really, really appreciate that. The editing takes a lot of time. And so while I'm on this cruise, I don't really feel like spending time in my room editing. So I thought I'd go live for short periods of time or long periods of time, or I would love to know from you. So while people are gathering, that's the question that I'm asking and love to see in the chat. What do you think? Would you come back and see more if I was on time? And I'm so sorry that I wasn't on time. And what would you like to see? And how long would you watch? And what's a good time of day? YouTube analytics tells me that a lot of you are online at 6 p.m., 6 p.m.-ish, 5:30 to 7-ish kind of thing, but, time zones. So I am currently in the in the Western time zone. The ship will move into the Central time zone, and ship time is really different. In fact, we have a piece of paper that excuse me, sorry. We have a piece of paper. I don't know if I can show this to you, but we keep going in and out. So plus 1 hour, plus 1 hour. Is that plus or minus? Let me see if I can hold this up so that you can see it. But you see where it says where the hours change? And so we're constantly changing our time zones. So we constantly refer to ship's time because your watch, like your automatic watch and phone, probably will not change because it knows where you really are. I know it's very strange. It's a cruise thing. So I'd love to know, like, would you come on and would you watch? And how long do you, I guess if I'm entertaining, you'll watch whenever, right? Or you'll watch for however long. But if there are things that you'd like to specifically know, I've actually posted on one of my Instagram the map of where we're going. They didn't give us a map, but this is sort of the schedule. Is it backwards? Are you seeing that backwards? That's terrible. And we start off. Oh, that wasn't what I wanted to show you. Where is the? They gave us a written itinerary, which I've had a really hard time keeping track of, to be honest with you, because it's a big itinerary. Wow. Okay. I thought I had one. Anyway, I have it. It's on Instagram and it shows you. And we start off in Costa Rica. So we start off warm in Costa Rica and Ecuador, and then work our way down to Lima and Santiago and couple of places in lower Chile. Puerto Montes and Puerto Natales, I think, and then Tierra del Fuego, and then we're 4 days in Antarctica, cruising around down there, and then go to the Falklands and back up to Buenos Aires. So that's 35 days, I think. And then I stay on the ship, and on Buenos Aires, we turn around on January 4th and come back the other way to Santiago until January 20th. And that's where I get off and I start with Machu Picchu, Galapagos, and the Antarctic. So that's sort of just an overview quickly because I just wanted to get some people on. Carol, hello from Wisconsin. I'm sorry it's so cold up there. I'm talking to friends in Chicago and it's been cold and snowy. And Minimalist Senior, hi. It's so nice to see you. I'm glad you're with me. Teresa, how are you? Yes, I'm very excited. And Carol, oh, don't, yeah, too many live streams. 10 to 15-minute update every few days would be good. Thanks for telling me that. That's awesome. They get dicey, seldom watch unless they have an idea or a topic covering areas foreign to me now. Okay, well, that's a good point too. I'm going to be on a cruise. So it's about cruising. And I guess on the cruising, I'd like to show you some stuff that I'm doing live off the ship, but are you curious about things on the ship? Like how things work on the ship or what my room, I'm going to show you my room today. I wanted to show you the sail away, which is just a big party. And I will tell you, it's probably hard to do live because there's a lot of loud music. There's a lot of loud dancing. It's very fun, but I probably couldn't talk. I could just show and tell. And maybe I'll just do that. And if you're around, you're around. But the great thing about this is that it shows up as a video. So you can watch it anytime you want, really. Oh, BG, that's who you are, the Minimalist Seniors. You're showing up. Yeah, BG on Facebook and the Minimalist Seniors. So glad to see you again. Thanks for joining me. So that's all really good feedback, you guys. And I'm just really excited about this. I enjoy cruising. Have you guys cruised before? Do you like cruising? Have you thought about cruising? As solo cruisers, I know it can get really expensive when you're going by yourself instead of with a roommate, but there are ways of getting around that. And I do a lot of shopping and look at a lot of sales and see what's going on, and I jump on them when I can. So I totally get it if it seems prohibitive, but if I can do it on my Social Security and a little bit of an investment account, then anyone can. I'll just be honest with you. And of course, I save a lot of money because I'm house sitting. I don't have a permanent home, which you guys probably know if you're following me. And so all that house sitting, for 7 months, I wasn't paying rent. I certainly covered, food, general necessities of life that I would normally have. I actually didn't have to charge my car because a lot of the houses had chargers that I just plugged into, when I needed them. So it was a pretty cheap summer, and this cruise was paid for a long time ago. So that's good. And then I just bought the Galapagos, Machu Picchu, and Antarctica. So yeah. So Teresa, considering a long cruise, I would love to hear what you've been doing the last few days. Oh my gosh. So the last few days in Las Vegas was a complete disaster. I mean, I did a video yesterday, a live yesterday about it with my credit card going into fraud alert and telling me that they weren't going to approve it to get used again. 3-hour interview with a newspaper of record, which I'm excited about and should be coming out before Christmas. But I didn't think it was going to be a 3-hour interview, so that sucked time. Last night was interesting. So beautiful room at the Palms, corner suite, huge, really big and gorgeous. The electric, curtains, the whole thing. And at 10 o'clock, this music started, and I thought it was somebody's car in the parking lot or driving by. Yeah, they had an awards ceremony or something that they had booked, and it went from 10 until 2 a.m. So I didn't actually get a lot of sleep last night because I got up at 4 to get to my 7 o'clock plane. And yeah, so here I am. So the last couple of days was a lot of prep. I also redid all of my packing over the last couple of days. We talked about that yesterday. So I have 2 backpacks that I check. One of them has only winter clothes, parka, underlayering, thermals, sweater, my boots, socks, hat, stuff like that. And then the other one has like everyday wear, because this will be going from, 60s to 70s to 80s to 90s. And then as we get around the tip of Chile and Argentina, it's going to go down to the 30s and 40s. When I do the expedition in March, they'll give us a parka and they'll give us boots because I did not bring like heavy, big boots. So they'll give us those to use. And so the packing was a big challenge. And I left a lot. I left 3 luggage pieces of clothing with my friend in Las Vegas along with the car. So it was kind of a crazy 4 days, very unusual for me, but we're resilient and we come out the other side and the credit card's working again. So not without some interesting conversations with Citibank. Let's see, what else are you asking? Oh, and on and off the ship. So I've got some, I've purchased, I don't usually buy the excursions offered by the cruise line. I think they're more expensive. I can find more to my liking on Viator and look carefully and do that. And so I bought Ecuador, Manta. Somebody on the ship arranged something in Montevideo, so I'm joining them for a cruise around the mountains and then a homemade lunch for us all. And he's done this before and really was looking forward to doing it again. So he was kind enough to offer it to some of us, and I took him up on it. And Ushuaia and Falklands, they're very protective of the land and the penguins. So you have to go with a guide. You can't just sort of wander around with the penguins. So I did sign up for tours on that, and I may find others. And the other thing is Ecuador, Costa Rica, like above Lima, I won't be doing those again on the cruise back the other way. So I wanted to make sure that I pick some things there, and I try to go as local as possible and as authentic as possible. That's my thing. So the whole, walking around following somebody with a flag, it's really not my kind of tour. So locals. And oh my God, Vegas is amazing, but boy, is it under construction. Whew. And they've just approved $330 million for the new A's athletics. The Oakland Athletics is moving to Las Vegas. $330 million approved by the Nevada State Legislature. I used to work in higher education there, where we had to go to the legislature and fight for the money for secondary education. And we had to fight really hard. And if we ever saw $330 million in the state, I'd be surprised. So it was interesting listening to the news there. It's a very interesting place, but I'm so glad. I mean, my body just dried up in the heat. Like my nose, my eyes, everything was dry. And the minute we landed here in Long Beach, I was like, humidity. Yes, not a lot, but just good. And okay, so BG, you want to do a cruise for a few years? Wanting to travel my home province first. I can't blame you there, and I've seen a lot of the United States and some of Canada, and I always think starting at home is the way to go for sure. So, oh yeah, we're doing Patagonia. That's all of the southern tip of Chile is Puerto Montes. I think that's what it is in Puerto Natales. There's actually a ferry, like the Alaska ferry line that goes from Seattle or Vancouver up the inner passage of Alaska. And it drops milk and papers and things, but you can buy space on it to go. And so there's a similar, but it's a one of those big cargo ships, and they put some rooms in them. 4 days going up, 4 days going back, and it was too expensive for me. It was $2,000 for 4 days. So Machu Picchu is a week for $1,100. So I decided not to do that, and since we'd be going on the ship, I decided that was okay. So you want to see the hotel room that I'll be in for the next 60 days or so, or the cabin that I'll be in. I usually have a balcony when you go for this long. It gets a little expensive, and especially when you're solo. So I actually had bought an interior, which made it really less expensive for me. And they have an upgrade program. So it's run sort of for Princess from somebody else, and you get to bid. So I bid on an ocean view, an obstructed ocean view, a premium ocean view, and a balcony. And you put in this little, dial, 450, 500, you can move it over. Like, how much do you want to bid? But that's for one person. So on all of them, I just bid the least amount. So I think one was 200. You guys, somebody's knocking at the door. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm doing a live on YouTube. I'll be back. Okay. Thanks. My luggage arrived, you guys. Sorry. Yeah, there's been no luggage, so I'm in the same clothes I've been in all day. Anyway, so I bid and I got an obstructed ocean view. So at least I have light in the cabin. I may not have a window I can open or a balcony I can open, but at least I have some natural light, which is nice. So what you see behind me is the bed, right? I think you can see that. And it's really nice. There's beautiful lights and they'll come and make it. It's just like a hotel, right? So they'll make up the bed. These are two singles, if you have two people in the room. And of course, I always tell them to put it together. And that was Marshall knocking at my door, my cabin steward, just checking on my luggage that's sitting outside my door. I'm trying to see if I can get this. Yeah. So now you can kind of see the view. So this here, this black is the lifeboat. So that's what they mean by obstructed ocean view. So I don't know if I can get this so this will work. I set this up on the laptop instead of on my phone. So, I'm learning. This is number 2 live, right? So there's, the view sort of. Let me see if I can move this. There we go. Let me see. So I'm so ready for this live, right? There you go. Okay. So can you see that basically that's a lifeboat that's blocking my view? No one can walk by me. So it's not like they're going to be looking in my window or anything. I'm just kind of glad to have light because obviously in an interior, you have nothing. So there you go. And then excuse the messy desk because I sort of landed on everything and just took it out of the one backpack I had. And so they have all of the plugs that you need by the bed and here. Well, I can do it that way, I guess. And it's just a desk, and there's a mini fridge down there so that you can, put stuff in it. I am an elite passenger, their loyalty program. So there's a little fridge there. And so that comes with, I don't know, they call this the elite package. And so they give you these little, like the airline bottles of booze and some sodas and some beer and water. They don't replenish it. You get it once. And let me see, they actually gave me a little thing. So there's a captain circle party and an elite platinum lounge that goes on every day and a grapevine tasting. And then I get complimentary laundry, which is kind of nice. I actually don't let them do it. I get the coins and I do it myself because I work out a lot and it gets really smelly and I want it back quicker than they get it to me. And afternoon tea and deluxe canapé selection. So they give you some nice stuff, some little add-ons, I guess. And then this is the closet. So sorry about my laundry there. I got to get that in the laundry as soon as I get the rest of my stuff, my luggage out. And then lots of storage. Most of my stuff is folded because most of it's foldable. And this is, kind of a typical cabin. Bathroom. It's not probably the biggest thing you'd ever see, but it does the job, right? There's lots of space to store your stuff. So yeah. So this is my little home away from home for the next, 60 days or so. And I'm just very happy to be here and going out to sea and traveling to countries that I've never been before and meeting new people and eating new food and discovering new things. Let's see. Let me just check the chat here. Yep. A cycle group. Oh my God. I bet you that would be wonderful. They actually opened up a cycle that you can kind of go from Switzerland to France across on a bike safely. It's not a bike thing. It's a bike lane and it is a single bike place. But my friends in Washington, D.C. bicycling were really excited about it. Okay, Teresa, interested in a weekly live chat? Oh, well, that would be an interesting idea too. Maybe we'll do it weekly. So I have this scheduled for tomorrow, and I was going to go through tomorrow where we're going, like each of the cities that we're going to and how we're getting there and all of that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do that tomorrow so that we have a sense of where I'll be over the next few months and weeks. So we'll do that, and then maybe we'll go to weekly. But I was just glad, and I did this on Facebook. I was trying to get this live on YouTube and Facebook, and I just signed up for StreamYard, and it was just not working. So I don't know what the deal was, and I kind of feel badly that the folks on Facebook maybe kind of got left. Yesterday we did Facebook because YouTube hadn't approved me yet for live, and today we're doing YouTube, and I lost the Facebook. So there you go. Um, so yeah, as a solo traveler and as a minimalist, I don't need a lot of space. And when I got off the cruise from Sydney to LA in April, it was April 4th to the 29th or 30th of April, so 28 days, whatever it was. I then flew to LA and flew to Las Vegas to pick up my car to start my house sitting in California. And again, my friend Stephen Jackson got me a room at one of the hotels. It was Red Rock. And I literally walk into this room, and I posted pictures of my room at the Palms. Similar setup, huge room. So I had been living for a month in a room this size, right? And I did have a balcony, but in a room this size for over a month. And then I walk into this huge hotel room, and I was like, oh my gosh, so much space. I really don't need much. And you also don't spend a lot of time in the room because there's an entire ship where I will be doing the gym and the Zumba classes, and they have professional dancers teaching us how to do different classical dances that you see on Dancing with the Stars. I do a lot of active stuff. There's pickleball, and there's a walking deck outside. There's 2 pools, one indoor and one outdoor. So I'll be treading. Probably it's not good for lap pools, but it's great for getting in the water and moving and treading water. So I'm kind of active, and I'm not really in the room. I sleep in the room, and it's true. People say that, and it's true. And all the food is out of the room. I don't order room service, so I don't know about the claustrophobia, Carol, because it's a big ship, so there are lots of big rooms and big places to be. But I really, I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me, and I'm sorry for the technical difficulties and starting late. I am doing another one tomorrow, so we set that up. I was just going to check the time really quick and see what time. So that is scheduled. 5:45. Why did I do that? Tomorrow at 5:45. And what does that say? I don't know what's going on, what ship time that is. So tomorrow on the 2nd. So we move forward 1 hour tomorrow. I'm going to keep it at 5:45 Pacific time. So I'll figure that out. What does that mean? 5:45 Pacific time. So I'll try and figure that out. But I'm really looking forward to it. So Beth, have you found activities for singles? So yes, I have organized a lot of them. So I organized slot pulls, and I am not a gambler, but the slot pulls I learned about on Carnival, and they're so much fun. Everybody puts in 10 or 20 bucks. You set one, it's either 10 or 20. And we did sort of the Wheel of Fortune slot, and it's $10 a pull is the max. So the max you play, the bigger chance of the max win, right? So we're doing $20 slot pulls on board here that I'm organizing with another woman on board. And you put all the money into the slot machine. So, 30 people times 20 is $600, which I would never in my life put into a slot machine. And everybody gets 2 $10 pulls. And the agreement is we agree when to quit. And I mean, obviously we've lost anything, but we agree when we're stopping if we're winning. And then we just divide whatever we've won between the 30 people, whoever's put in. So that is fun. It's singles and not singles, but it's just fun people to meet. I am also organizing, I did this on Majestic, solo tables in the dining room, which I have to go down and organize today at 5:00 because I've been trying to organize them since I got on board. And the dining room is like, you want a table for 20? I'm like, no, I don't want a table for 20. And they're sort of just not clocking it. So at 5:00 I'll go down. And so we did that on Majestic, and we were on there for 28 days, some were on longer. But the deal was that at least we had a place to meet. And the first week, it was a really nice place to meet other solo travelers and put names to faces, their Facebook groups, and cruise critic roll calls, they're called. And it's by the ship. So December 1st to December 19th, December 19th to January 4th, and then January 4th to January 20th. And there's a Facebook group, a roll call for each of those there and on Cruise Critic. So we all have been talking and posting and sharing our experience. Some people were already on board before we joined. So they've already been on the Sapphire as it was cruising around Hawaii, I think. And so now we're all on board and we're just excited to meet each other. So the solo group here is rather large, and I think it's because of the holidays. So I'm kind of excited to be on board for the holidays. It's not that I don't care about them, but when you're solo and you don't have family and I don't want to be in Chicago this time of year, which is where most of my chosen family is, this is a great place to be. You dress up, you don't dress up. They just take care of all the muss and fuss. You want to have turkey and ham and prime rib, they will have it all for you. So I really think that it's and there's a solo meetup today. And the ship that's Christina is organizing on board, and then the ship is having a solo meetup today, and then they will host one every. They don't host it, but it's a place for all the solo to meet every day for like half an hour or 45 minutes in a bar, and so they all get together. So yeah, lots of solo people, and I think it's because of the holidays as well. Yeah, I know the dance classes are so much fun. Honestly, Carol. The Zumba every morning is fabulous. And then the dancers who perform at night show us like the foxtrot and the tango and the salsa, and we all just pair off. Couples have couples and us solos just pair off men and women, and they're so good at like, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what you look like, and it doesn't matter who you're dancing with. And it's down in the International Cafe. Big, huge marble floor, and so we've got plenty of room, and they got a DJ playing music, and it's just really fun. So yeah. Diane, how are you? So good to see you. Yeah. A couple technical difficulties on how to start a live on YouTube, and StreamYard failed me. So I'll figure it out. Yeah, so and those are specifically for solo travelers, but basically like this page is just for today. This is just today, and they'll put this under my cabin door every day to tell you what you're doing. Live and of course, if you're solo, you can go to a lot of stuff and not. There's an art scavenger hunt. Yeah, so the singles and solo unhosted, 5 to 5:45. There's the lottery up in the shops. Once we pull away from port, the shops are allowed to open. We have to get out into international waters for the casino to work. So that's interesting. So Effie is one of it's a store on every ship. So they're having a champagne party, hoping that you'll go in and buy Tanzanite. Live music everywhere. They have a cocktail experience. 4 o'clock they're playing. They'll probably delay it because we haven't left port yet. But there's a huge screen up by the pool on the Lido deck. And so they're going to be showing the Michael Bublé live at the BBC. I saw, what was the latest Tom Hanks? What was the latest Tom Hanks movie? Maverick. And I watched that from the deck of the Majestic, sitting in a lounge chair with this huge blue sky behind you and watching Maverick. It was kind of a little surreal. It's a huge screen. So so today they're showing Barbie, and they have an entire list of movies, and they serve popcorn for free, and you can get hot drinks or cold drinks depending on what the weather is at the moment. They give you blankets if it's too cold, and they got soft serve ice cream. And so it's a fun, it's like a drive-in a lounge chair kind of, and the sound is phenomenal. The sound is really great. In fact, I think we were in San Diego, and they couldn't play it because there were sound ordinances because of all the condos around the port, and so they weren't allowed to play the movie in San Diego. So anyway, there's just stuff, and it doesn't matter whether you're single or not, right? I'm trying to think. There's welcome aboard trivia. There's a comedian tonight. Movies that starts at 7 because it's got to get dark enough. It's a 7 and a 9:15, and there's also a comedian for children or for the younger set, and then there's a dirty version for the adults later in the evening. There's a slot tournament. So look, I think if you're single or couples, you can find something to do. And if you're single, I sit somewhere, sit next to somebody and start a conversation. I don't know what to tell you. You're never dull. You're never bored. Let me just tell it that way. Yeah, Carol, I mean, there is. And I think, for me, after being solo house sitting all this time, I'm finding myself like uber connecting with people, right? It's not that I wasn't connecting with people, but it was more solitary. I'm going home to an empty house. I'm making dinner for myself. I'm walking the dog or taking care of the cat or writing a blog or something. And so now I have 2,200 people here. There's an app on that Princess has that allows us to connect online, whether you're connected to the internet or not. And it sort of allows you to connect with people. So you hit compass And this is how you kind of get around the ship. It tells you where you are now, and then you can say where you want to go. But one of the things you can do is locate your shipmates or manage your shipmates. So Reed and I were on the Majestic together, and Alex is one of the guys from the Facebook group. Both of them happen to be solo. I've done it. But this way, if you don't have Wi-Fi and you can't get to the Facebook group anymore because you don't have Wi-Fi, you didn't buy it, this is how you can communicate. And you can also order room service through it. So I didn't know that this existed. I think the last time I was on a cruise a long time ago, there wasn't anything. And then the journey is on here as well. So, you don't need a piece of paper. It'll look up everything that's going on, and you can sort of bookmark the things that are going on. So it'll remind you, you don't have to go, excuse me, but at least it will remind you. So right now, they're saying there's a Lotus Spa Salon tours and 10% off liquor. It's basically the same thing on the piece of paper, except it's in your pocket, and it works whether you have Wi-Fi or not. So never a dull moment. And we have 5 or 6 sea days ahead of us. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we have 5 sea days ahead before we get to Punta Arenas in Costa Rica. So we've got lots to keep us busy. I'll be in the gym in the morning and then have some breakfast and maybe do a little blog writing and stuff and see what's going on in the morning, and then pop in and out of things. I usually go to the gym, and then they have Zumba, and then they have the dancing, usually was the schedule. And by then it's noon. That's a day, half a day gone. So yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? And I'd be happy to answer them. And I just wanted to kind of kick this off because it's going to be an epic journey. I mean, it's almost 2 months on this ship, and then there's at least another 2 or 3 months on land doing Galapagos and Machu Picchu and an Antarctic expedition. So there's just a lot going on, and I want to give it to you as a perspective as a solo traveler, as a 63-year-old retiree who's living on my Social Security and a small investment account that's getting a little smaller every day now that I've bought these little packages. And I do have a retirement fund that I have not yet touched. And so we'll have to see. I think in 2024, I may have to dip into that. The interview that I had was very in-depth about my finances. So we did a lot of math and looked at things that I had not really paid attention to. And even if I do say so myself, it was kind of impressive. So anyway, you'll see. I'll let you know when that comes out. It'll be in digital and print, but it's kind of exciting. We're not climbing to Machu Picchu. I'm taking the train, the Inca Trail. It's not adverse, and it's not that I don't know that if I can do it. I don't want to get halfway up or halfway there and decide. And everybody, when you look at the tours, it'll say easy, moderate, hard. And that Inca Trail is considered hard, and you're climbing at altitude. I don't think my VO2 rating is good enough for that. And I also don't want, and there aren't really sag wagons. So if you can't make it, I don't know what the alternative is, I'll be honest with you, because it's the Inca Trail. There aren't any cars on it. So it's not like if you do a 100-mile walk and someone can just pick you up and take you back to the beginning. So we're doing the train. They fly me from Lima to Cusco, a couple days in Cusco having some fun. And then we get on a train to Machu Picchu and wander around Machu Picchu. Again, that's a protected site. So they've arranged the passes and our permissions to get on there. And we spend about a day there and then go back. I think we go back to Cusco and then fly home to Lima. And then I go from Lima up to the Galapagos and get on a 16-person ship around the 3 islands of the Galapagos, and then have some time and a break before I have to get down to Ushuaia in March. So lots going on. I also downsized, as I mentioned earlier, 2 backpacks that I can check, and one of those backpacks that I'm carrying myself, it will be empty because it had some consumables, for the ship. Chai tea from Australia that I adore, and we had tea parties in Majestic in the International Cafe, and the staff made us, it's proper leaf tea, and they would bring it to us with warm milk or with milk and honey and stuff. So that'll all be gone. So yeah, so this moving around is not my normal style, but as long as I'm here, I decided I'm just going to go for broke and get it done. I haven't unpacked my bags. I'll actually, you know what? I'll go get them. They're sitting out in the hallway, and I need to bring them in. So I unpacked the one bag I had, and yeah, so it's a back-to-back cruise. So Beth, it goes from today, December 1st, to January 4th, from Los Angeles to Buenos Aires, with a bunch of ports in between and some sea days. Ecuador, Costa Rica, Chile, Argentina, and then I stay on the ship in Buenos Aires and go back the other way for another 18 or 20 days to Santiago. And then my plan is to spend some time in Santiago and Valparaiso before I start the Machu Picchu. And then Machu Picchu and Galapagos are right on top of each other. And then I have about a week to 10 days before I have to be in Ushuaia, and that's about a 15-hour flight from Quito. Or the best flight is from Buenos Aires, so I think what I might do is fly from Quito to Buenos Aires, hang out in Buenos Aires a little bit, maybe do Iguazu Falls if it's just not moving. I just don't like moving fast. I don't have to move fast, so I don't feel like I have to run through this country. But the best flight is from Buenos Aires to Ushuaia, so I may just hang out in Buenos Aires for a little bit, catch my breath, relax. It's supposed to be the Paris of the South, and people are swearing about these croissants. And I am a croissant crazy person. So if I'm sitting in a cafe drinking a latte and some croissants every day in Buenos Aires after being in, Machu Picchu and Galapagos, I'm really good with that. So we'll see. I haven't planned the in-between parts yet. I just had to plan the big sections. And then Antarctica starts on March 3rd and goes for 10 days, 10 or 11 days. So that's kind of the thing. Carol, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you very much. It's good to talk to you. I love you watching my videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that's 2 months on the ship. And then my plan is to catch a Trans-Pacific or to Tokyo, or a transatlantic over to Europe, a late March, April-ish, when the boats start doing their repositioning. And then I really want to see the Taiwan, and I want to see the cherry blossoms in Japan, like really. And there's a cruise around Japan that's looking good. So it's kind of us nomads spend 40% of our time planning travel because we like it, because that's what we love to do. But it takes 40% of your time to try and figure it all out. So any other questions you guys have? Because we'll do some more tomorrow. I hear what you said about maybe doing them weekly or every couple days with an update, because we're going to be at sea for like 5 days. You don't care that I'm going to the gym and what I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the ship is the ship. And I can't show you, I'm not going to show you me in the gym and treading water in the pool. I'll get some of us with Zumba and the dancing, because it's really good. And you get to talk to these entertainers, which they're like Dancing with the Stars level, dancers. So yeah, that's kind of fun. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and tune in tomorrow, because we'll talk about the itinerary and where we'll be on the ship. And I'll give you some more background on each of the cities that we're going to be going to. And I'll get some more gossip from what's going on. And depending on what's going on with the sail away, I may just do a quick live, while we're doing the sail away, because it's just an exciting time. And unfortunately, it's not like the pictures where, everybody's waving and there's streamers coming from the boat. We don't do that anymore. But people that are on board are very excited to be here. So it's a very high energy, fun place to be. And you never know who you'll meet. I hope you guys have a great day and a great evening wherever you are. And I really appreciate you subscribing. Share me with your friends if they're interested in travel. Appreciate you doing that. And I hope you have a wonderful evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you may be. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm just glad to be on board. And it was good to see you guys. See ya. Thanks, Beth. I will. So far, it's been so great. I mean, getting here, the cab here, the flight here, everything was so easy. And there were all these cruisers, people cruising, not our ship, but lots of cruises down here. And so the plane was full of everybody going on a cruise somewhere. So it was a lot of fun. Diane, thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. See See you guys. Bye. More tomorrow.